this Espresso 4.0 episode, we decided to do things a little bit differently. We have with us Christele and Johan, first time a double guest, a tag team, if you will. Welcome to Espresso 4.0. I don't know if you've brought your cup of warm beverage. It's not mandatory. It's just highly advisable. I have my espresso, but people drink whatever they want.
I had mine 5 minutes ago, so it's fine.
Okay. That means that you're caffeinated and then we can talk. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's start us off by you guys telling us what your background is, why basically our viewers should listen to what you have to say.
So I'm Christele, French. Used to work for European manufacturers for about 18 years. So it was in the field of marketing, communication, sales. So in fact, business development oriented, but always with one foot in production and technical in order to be able to explain nicely to the colleague and to the customers the solutions. And I operated in Europe, in Africa, Brazil, and the French overseas, being French.
Excellent.
My name is Johan. I'm Danish. I worked close to 40 years in the industry, basically coming from the financial corner, but have used the last 35 years only in production. So we will try to, let's say, translate the knowledge of the practicalities we have from the production sites and combining this with a solution on digital.
Exactly. That's basically what I brought you, because you have a well-rounded knowledge of all the processes that happen in the manufacturing facility. You've managed some of the facilities, manufacturing factories themselves. You've been in sales, you've been in marketing, you've been pretty much involved in, had a role of every stakeholder within the manufacturing company, except being the actual operators. That's the only thing that you're missing in your portfolios. So why don't we jump right into it? Having had the experience you've had in manufacturing industry and running some of these facilities as well, what are some of the problems you've had in management of these facilities, and that you know that even engineers and operators have, that can possibly be solved with digital solutions?
I would say some communication. So because to communicate better outside, to me, you first need to communicate inside. So to improve the production processes first, but then to improve the whole processes of the company, so the whole business. So meaning, for example, the sales know exactly when the order is ready for their customers. If not, why, what was the problem? And as well as it can help, so HR, everybody, let's say.
To me, I think the main purpose is the speed. So the further down or the further back you go in history, the longer you had to wait for some kind of report, some kind of update, some kind of warnings from the system. And by using the digital method, you can have live data all the time, no matter where you are in the form you want it. And that's not only on the management level, but also on the floor. And that's actually, I think, the biggest challenge you have in the bigger companies, that to accept the much faster information going down to the floor and accept people there being able to make the correct decisions, instead of talking to the boss that needs to talk to the boss, and 3 days later, the guy on the floor get an answer to a question he basically could answer himself.
Exactly. Okay, perfect.
Was not allowed to.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying. In fact, that is, we're going paperless, right? The speed of information is real time right now. It's much more streamlined across all stakeholders. There's more transparency. And the idea at the end of the day is that whoever needs information can access it really fast and have it in his hands, basically with a click, whatever it may be, whatever his deliverables are, whatever is relevant for them.
That's probably just one side, because the other side is this, let's say, combination of fast information and installing all kinds of sensors in your machines, so that let's say you can let the machines talk. And that also means that an operator can actually take care of a bigger number of machines than before, because he knows that if something is going wrong on machine 2, when he's working on machine 1, he will get the information.
Now we're talking about IoT, Internet of Things, connecting different assets and having them having directly information from the assets themselves, correct?
Yeah, that's it. From the assets being the machine production line, sensors, for example, to know the temperature in a room, to know the vibration of a machine, or the, again, temperature of a material, but also getting the data from the IT system, like the ERP, CRM, maintenance system, and whatever system. Even some relevant data, sometimes from some Excel sheets, because it's also happening in some companies, especially the small ones, sometimes the knowledge is just in the head of one person. So it needs to be put down on an Excel sheet, and then we can also collect that relevant data. And what digital do, that also helps to compare so the historical data with the data that are happening right now on the machines, and then to know if we are following what has been planned or not, and being able to react fast and take the right decision, not being based anymore on guess estimating.
Excellent. Yep, precisely what I was talking about. And Johan, you've mentioned you have 35 years experience?
35 years, yeah.
Okay, so you've seen how the manufacturing world looked like 35 years ago.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you think that are that still permeate as a problem, but could today be easily solved with digital solutions?
I'm not so sure that the solution as such will help something, but when you come to the point where the acceptance of sharing information is there, so if you have the right culture in the company, and then again using the digital possibility, it's still around speed. You have all the knowledge you need to let the people who have actually worked on that machine for 30 years, they know exactly what's going on. But if they at the same time have the basic information immediately, it's much better and much easier for them to do their job.
Okay, but so it's the culture. You're saying, or at least what I'm trying to get out of this. You're saying that the issue rather is not the fact that people are not adopting solutions, but rather the culture of sharing information across the stakeholders is something that's still kind of not at the stage where it should be.
Yeah, right? And that's why when you come out to these, be that SME or bigger companies, the first thing you need to find out is where are they today, and what does it take to really make a digital implementation successful, and what are their goals. So you need to make some kind of status on where they actually are today, because it doesn't make any sense to give these people a Rolls-Royce car if they cannot ride a bike. So they have to be ready to do this as well.
Got it. You mentioned SMEs, and one of my questions kind of want to touch on the topic of small and medium enterprises. Typically, when we talk about digitalization, well, not typically, there seems to be some kind of a taboo stereotype that this is high capital investment and that it's therefore only reserved for those companies that can afford it. But what can SMEs do? What can they benefit? What are the benefits that they can tap into even today with some maybe low cost solutions?
To me, the point around the system is, first of all, not only us, but also a lot of our colleagues, competitors out there are actually focusing a lot of SMEs in securing that there's no high investment up front. And actually, when we talk to them, they're a little bit afraid of how can we do this and what's going to happen and everything like that. So if it's possible to install a system that gives them all this data availability, just start with a machine or two or three. Don't do it the whole way around immediately, because people also need to accept and understand this is not something we are doing to get rid of you. This is a tool for you to make it much easier. And if you then combine that with the situation, at least in a lot of Western European countries right now, where it's actually very difficult to find qualified people. So go out with let's say a message saying, well, we want to improve our cost level. We want to improve our turnover, but we cannot find the necessary people. So here we have a tool that if we use it the right way, you will manage more. So we will actually, with the same amount of people, be able to produce more, even at a more competitive price. So let them get started, nice and slow, 2-3 machines, 2-3 people, and then they learn from there.
Yes, yeah, that's true. And so the point is, being a small or a big company, first you need to start to have a goal. And we are helping them with defining the goal, because sometimes they know they want to improve, to reduce costs, or to have more productivity, but they don't really know much more. So we help them to have some specific goals, and then to have a plan to reach it. And then, as Johan said, we go step by step and in small steps. And the first one, that's to have, let's say, the adhesion of all the people, so they need to accept it, because that's the key to success. The people, operators, but everybody within the companies needs to understand what it will bring them, and in order to use the solution and have new processes, and then to be successful.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you. I have just a couple of more questions, which are a little less serious. If I called you at 2 p.m. on a Sunday, what would I be interrupting you at? That's typically what I ask everyone.
2 p.m. on a Sunday, sleeping.
Not 2 a.m.
Yeah, no, 2 p.m. No, that could be working from time to time, to be honest.
Wow. I wouldn't want to call you, interrupt you working on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Or discovering some new landscapes.
Yeah. So going out, get some air, get out of the office. As an example, yesterday we at 2 p.m. was actually looking at the local Ironman, because it started here yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning, and around 3 o'clock the first game's in goal. And then if you see what these people are actually able to do without a solution, but just with a lot of hard work, it's quite amazing.
Yeah, it is quite impressive. Whereabouts in the Netherlands was it?
Maastricht.
Maastricht.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, then you feel very small. You say, okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Dutch people are known to be pretty tall as well, so it doesn't help.
Yeah, that's right.
So they run faster.
They run faster. One step is like ours too. And what is the recent tech innovation that you saw or read about that you thought was quite interesting?
Yeah, I think that's a good challenge, because a lot of the things we see today, it's at least in my case, coming from many years ago, you have to get used to the speed of new tech innovation. And at least to me, the last 4 or 5 years or 6 years, I always just let them sink in. And then if they're still here in a year, well, then there might become something. Right now, I'm hoping that I'll soon hear somebody saying that they have now commercialized the hydrogen cars instead of this electricity, because I don't really believe in it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in fact, I don't know if you had a chance to go to Hanover Mess this year.
No.
There was quite a bit of hydrogen-powered batteries, whether it's for cars or other vehicles or devices that were exhibited in 1 or even 2 of the halls in Hanover Mess. So they're working on it. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if
Well,
they
let's hope.
commercialize it. Let's see if they commercialize it. That would be interesting. Well, okay, that kind of concludes my my questions in today's episode. Thank you guys for being a part of the episode, for being guests. I appreciated your input, and hope to stay in contact. And maybe you can, if you're ever in visit, I mean, you're in Netherlands, you're not that far away.
No,
You
no.
can come here in person next time.
Of course,
And
we
have-
can run
have-
fast.
and have
Philip.
Not a virtual, but a real espresso.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, Philippe, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Take
Goodbye.
care.